It's about getting into schools and talking to young people because, I know that people can change. And it's about talking to people and getting them to understand and perhaps step back from violence and prejudice and whatever. And we just need to work together and keep on the good fight there.
Absolutely. Hey there, guys. We are ecstatically happy to announce that we are associated with the Sophie Lancaster Foundation.
The times are changing, and with the unfortunate death of Sophie, those changes have made a massive impact for the future. If Sophie was with us still today, I can guarantee what you are doing will still be reaching so many lives of young teenagers, young adults, and those who wish to be as different as possible. So thank you very much.
To find out more about this incredible foundation and all the work they do, and more importantly, how you can help, head on over to www.sophielancasterfoundation.com.
Oh, hi guys. Welcome. Game Show Wave, everybody. Game Show Wave. Smile. It's great that we're here for the final episode, Jamie. Here we go again, one more time in 2022. It's been a hell of a ride.
Oh yeah, the best of rides.
Absolutely. So for the final time then, Jamie, I suppose that these right here are the Chronicles of 2022.
Yeah, they are. Let's bring this year to an end with a bang, baby.
Wonderful. We're almost at our destination now anyway. So for the final time, hit it!
Hey, honey bunny, it's Rivka Reyes.
This is Ron Wasserman, the nut that wrote Go-Go Power Rangers.
I'm Noel McNeil, and once upon a time, I was a bear in a big blue house.
It's Rab himself, Paul Rugg, the voice of Freakazoid, and you're listening to the Chronicles of Podcast with Tom and Jamie. Hello!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final episode of 2022, because are the Chronicles of 2022. It is I, the bearded Brummy Jamie, and joining me, as always, this handsome fella over here.
What's going on, guys? This is Scotsman Tom, and we're here for the final episode of the year. Jamie, that Old Lang Syne These was absolutely magnificent. It didn't cut out. You actually stayed in tune the whole time. It was literal, probably the best These of the year, I'd have to say. You know what I mean? You nailed it on the final episode of the year.
Yes, finally got it.
It's beautiful. It'd be hilarious if like put a whole montage of these as in at the beginning.
Jesus Christ, that high-pitched noise, everyone should be like, no, thank you.
Oh, but here we go, my friend. Here we are, the final episode of the year. Obviously, no interview this year, like we said, no interview this week again, because we're closing out the year with a special edition of the Chronicles of Podcast.
Yeah, this week's a little bit different. This is going to be, what should we say, a best of. Just highlighting some of our favourite moments from the year, because I know a lot of people have not had a great 2022. It's all I've seen over social media is, come on, let's get this year out of the way. But personally, I think we've had a fucking great 2022. We've done so much this year, so let's celebrate it, baby.
The thing is, it gets to that point now where you're like, come on then, 2023, how do we top that? But it's going to be good. But come on this journey, guys. Come on this ride with us. And come and experience some of the best moments that we've had this year. But still, Jamie, how are you, my friend? Are you well?
I am very well. I've had a day off work today, so I'm nice and relaxed. We're bringing the year to the end. Today, I've taken down all the damn Christmas decorations. Give me my house back. I'm quite sick to death of seeing them all, so bring it on.
It's so weird, isn't it? I find out people get really excited at the beginning. Trees up, get the tint up, put the lights up, the tinsel up. And then by about the 23rd, 24th, like, fucking nice, it's taken up so much room. I can't wait to get this shit down.
Well, Olivia turned around to me yesterday, I believe it was yesterday day, and went, Daddy, why are the decorations still up? Christmas is over. I was like, you know what? You're damn right, kid. Let's get it back in the fucking loft.
Get the box out of love. Make me a brew and I'll watch.
Let's get it back up in the loft. Be gone. Got my room back, thank God. How about you,
Wonderful.
sir? How are you?
I'm good. I'm all right. I was very unwell last night, so I don't know if it was just a case of eating too much. But I think a combination of gins, Nando's hot sauce and silver skin onions in vinegar. I think that combination, my stomach just went, you think you're going to sleep tonight? I don't think so. I literally retched to the point where nothing comes. And it was, oh man, I was so sick. It was horrible. Now my stomach, every time I breathe in, my stomach's like, and it just hurts a lot. So I've hardly eaten today. It was a bit shit, but
I can imagine your breath, your stomach, and your arsehole are three of the most dangerous places on the planet yesterday.
The arse is fine. The arse is fine. The arse is not, nothing's happened there. It was all just vomit. It was horrible. And it was, at points, it was red, which was concerning me. Yeah, it was all like, I won't go too much detail. But I'm fine. I'm tired because I hardly slept and I was sick everywhere last night, but I'm fine. I'm all good. We're here. We're doing the show. That's the main thing. So we're keeping the show on the road here, boys.
Yeah, we are. But before we start bringing this year to a wraps, we've got to ask that question, sir. How was your Christmas?
Oh, I can't believe you beat me to it. Okay, because normally you always go first here, Jace. This is new territory for me here. I'm like, going first. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, it was great. It was really great. Christmas Eve, I went back to Cheltenham. I went and saw my best mate, Paul. So I went for a coffee. Me and Keris went for a coffee with him. And then I saw my best mate, Joe Green. I went for a coffee with him and I had a beverage as well in Copa, which was quite nice. It was lush to see him. And then we drove back to Gloucester because my mum was like, don't come over till 3:30. It's like, okay, but we're desserts this year. So whatever member of the family got us different like cuisine, not cuisine, like starter, main, desserts, picky bits, crisps, drinks, whatever. So me and Keris were desserts this year. And we went shopping on the Friday night to Newport Tesco. Jamie, not joking, the freezers were empty. And I was like, oh, shit. Because we only got paid then. We were like, fuck. So we managed to pick up a couple of bits there. And then we went to Tesco by my mum's as soon as we got there. And luckily their freezers were full. So I was like, heck, fuck. So they obviously had like a restock or a redelivery that morning or something. And I was like, thank you. So we did that. So I saw Paul, saw Green, and then we drove to my mum's and we had like a massive Christmas Eve like party type, like loads of picky bits, food, drinks, playing games. And it's always absolutely mental with my family around because obviously there's so many of us. So that was great. And then we drove back that night. Although everyone started leaving about 7:30. And then I think my brother left about 8 and we were like, oh yeah, we're going to head off as well. I was like, I just need to do one thing before we do go. 45 minutes later, Jamie, I blocked my mum's toilet. I was like, I just need to have a quick poo and then we'll get head because obviously it's about 50 minutes away, but an hour away. I was like, I can't hold on any longer. I've held on all day here. Went to use the flush and was like, well, that's not good.
I suppose to bring a dessert, I brought a Yule log.
Yeah, it took 10 minutes to disperse using hot water from the kettle. So Keris is looking at me like, why the fuck are you talking about this?
And why do you have so much pride on your face?
Yeah, well, it's funny because weirdly, my brother was just talking about how a toilet got blocked and then he left and I literally did it. So he obviously threw it into the universe.
Either, is it?
I was like, yeah, Mum, I'm so sorry I blocked your toilet. She's like, what? What do you mean you blocked the toilet? I was like, I literally have just had the biggest shit ever and I blocked you. She goes, I love that toilet's not that great anyway. I was like, well, there we are. Kettle, please.
Let's just burn it. Let's just set it alight.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
I was quite tempted to be like, she was like, let me deal with it. It's like, are you for real? You want to deal with it? Let me deal with this one. I think it's probably best that I deal with this rather than...
I think I'm a little bit old for you to be dealing with my poopies now, mother.
Yeah. Three days later, I still can't flush it. But no, eventually. Anyway, let's move on. Christmas Day was great. So we went over to Keris' sisters and we had like Christmas breakfast, which was smoked salmon, avocados and eggs. On toast, and I was absolutely delish. Watched the kids, watched their nephews open their presents, got some gifts and whatnot. Very happy with my gentleman Kingsman coat. It's lush. I can't wait to go to New York in that bad boy. Funnily enough, Keris bought her own coat and it came today, and she's been parading around in it. She's like, "Let me try my bag on. Let me have a look in the mirror."
Does it go with these shoes? Does it go with these shoes?
I get asked that question a lot. So Christmas Day, we did that. We went over. We just had drinks. We had food. Christmas dinner was, excuse me, Christmas dinner was absolutely banging. Watched a bit of Gino, Gordon, and Fred, and their Christmas trip to Morocco. Weirdly, and we got back about 5-ish, I think, and we just literally just sat in front of the TV and chilled. So, pretty decent. Boxing Day, we went to her mum's and had homemade Chinese, and it was fucking stunning. I just watched like Big Fat Quiz of the Year and did loads of that sort of stuff. Just like literally chilled, drank, and watched TV. It was really, really nice. So yeah, it's been absolutely banging, my friend. How about you?
I love it. Well, Christmas Eve for me was very uneventful because I was at work till 10 p.m. So I got home, we sorted out the presents, watched Jingle All the Way because I realised I hadn't watched it yet this Christmas, and then went to bed. So that was pretty much it for Christmas Eve. But Christmas Day was great. Woke up about 6:30, 7, small child in the house. You know what it's like. Came downstairs, opened presents. I have one of my new favourite moments in life with that child because of Christmas Day and opening presents. Because I turned around to her and I said, right, Olivia, Daddy wrote a special letter to Santa because I wanted you to have this special present. So I wrote to him personally, got this put on your list. You know, I don't want to spoil the magic. And she's like, what is it, Daddy? I was like, open it and find out. Is it a Power Ranger? I was like, open it and find out. She opened it up. Action figure of the pink Power Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers because she's loving that show at the minute, as I said. And she literally looked at me and went, did you get that put on my Santa list, Daddy? I went, yeah. She just jumped on me and gave me the biggest hug and kiss ever. And I was like, yes, parenting win for me. I was so happy. It was amazing. But no, we had a lovely morning, just opening all the presents stuff. The kid got spoiled rotten. But so did I this year. I think I got more presents this year than I've had like in fucking years. It was great.
Yeah,
I was loving it. I got loads of games and DVDs and t-shirts and all that. I got a Chewbacca onesie, which is quite comfy. And I got a surprise gig tickets to a gig I never thought I'd go to. But I'm actually really excited. I got tickets to go see Youngblood.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
Look, I've said for a while now, look, I don't know his music that well, but it's just something about him I find really captivating. Like, he's a fascinating person. I was like, I bet he would be great to see live. Even if his music's not all that great, I bet him live would be amazing, just all that energy. And Becky brought me tickets to see him, and I'm actually really excited. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be good.
Nice.
I'm really excited. Then, what did you do? We hung around. My mom, her partner, and my sister came round. We exchanged presents. We had breakfast. We had croissants, pain au chocolat, and
nice.
What are they called? Clip. I had to think of that bit from Austin Powers to remember what it's called.
What is it? Clip.
Crepe. CREPE.
Oh, a crepe.
Crepe, whatever the fuck.
Oh, crepe. Yeah, the same thing. Yeah, sorry, because it's so quick. I was like, is he saying clip? What's he need a clip for? Thanks, Mum. I can find it on there now.
But then we did a quick present drop off with a friend of ours, gave them their kid their present, got Olivia hers. And then we went to Becky's parents for the rest of the day. Had a great time. We had Christmas dinner first, which was delicious. I had me a plate full of sprouts. I was very, very happy. You know me, I love my sprouts on Christmas Day. Exchange presents, like I said. I've got another ice cream machine, which I'm really excited to use.
Another one?
Yeah, it's different though. It's that's free now.
Go on.
Yeah, it's like a tray bowl. So you pour the mix in, you just keep stirring it and scooping it around, and it makes ice cream rolls. So instead of having to wait for it to freeze over, it's just boom, done, eat it. I was like, fuck yeah. Can't wait to
okay.
I'm going to end up reopening the business. I'm going to get so excited using it.
Westy's ice cream's back next year then, guys.
Probably. And then what else did we do? We found out that Becky's brother got engaged, so congratulations.
Yeah, I was going to say massive congratulations, James. Yeah, I saw that on Facebook today, so I was going to say massive congrats.
That was bless them. They're awesome. They're so well good together as well. I turned around to her and I was just like, now I'm not the only idiot marrying into this family. Fuck yeah. We're going to start a support group.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
I just hope James realises that the Dolphins' final playoff spot, that the Dolphins are going to think they're going to get, the Steelers are going to take. So it's fine. Like, it's all good, James. Don't worry. We're coming for that playoff spot that you are currently sitting.
Only you could turn an engagement into an NFL dig.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we played Pass the Parcel again because Olivia loved it last time, and we played some bingo. Olivia was being a bingo caller, which was really adorable. And we just headed home. Me and Becky chilled out. We built our Lego that we got for Christmas, watched TV. Yeah.
I just had an image, sorry to interrupt you, of Olivia do the bingo calling. It's legs 11! You know what I mean? It's like, not like, it's 67, daddy. It's like, all the nines, 99. Like,
I would have been so impressed.
But with a proper Yorkshire accent on. Sorry, carry on.
I love that even my 5-year-old daughter's now got a Yorkshire accent. But I will point out the fact that we played 3 rounds and I got the house on all 3. Thank you very much.
Yeah, nice.
The game of no skill, I won. Fuck yeah. And then Boxing Day, we had the kids come round, which was great. Like Boxing Day morning, Becky went to go get the kids, and I just did fucking everything in this house. I got the table ready, I got Olivia ready, I got the cooking ready. I felt like a regular old 1940s housewife. It was great. But I got it all done. And then the kids came around, opened presents. We had a great day. My mum and Tony and Rhiannon came back as well. It was just a great chilling out day, just fun family day. I love it. Just family day. Kids love their presents. I love the presents off them. Yeah, I fucking love Christmas. It's great. And then 27th, I was back to work. And now we're here. Hi.
It's literally over in a flash. And it's literally like, boom, done.
Yeah.
Next year. Like, fucking hell. Jesus Christ, hello. I just want to shout out to my sister Grace. Happy 16th birthday, literally today, as we record this show. So it'll be out obviously a couple of days' time. But yeah, my Grace is 16, man. It's like,
that's
what?
Nuts.
Like, what is going on? What is going on?
I feel like I have memories of finding out she was born. Like, I'm probably wrong, but I feel like I do. So
she was 2006. I didn't know you then.
No, it wasn't then. Okay, I must just remember her being very young then.
When I met you, she was 2.
Yeah, I must just have memories of her being very young then.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's mental. Absolutely mental. So I just wanted to get that in there now whilst we're here. So, yeah, good. I'm glad you had a good day. I'm glad you had a good Christmas, my friend. It's good to hear. Really good to hear.
Considering the build-up, it didn't feel very festive at all. When the day got here, I was like, I'm fucking loving this. This is a good Christmas this year. I like it this year.
It's been a banging year, to be honest with you. But can you believe Maxi Jazz, the lead from the Faithless, passed away on Christmas Eve?
I know. Couldn't believe that. Also couldn't believe he was 65. Jesus Christ.
my mum, like, other than George Michael, because obviously he passed away on Christmas Day 6 years ago, Faithless were her other, like, her 2 ultimate favourite bands. She got to see Faithless live. Luckily enough. So she's actually seen them. She never got to see George. But yeah, so she was like, what? Aww. So yeah, she was absolutely heartbroken. Bless her. She was so gutted.
I'm not surprised.
Gutted. So yeah, I have images. Well, not images. I have stories from my sister Kate, who took her, of when Faithless came on. Mum didn't sit down the entire. She mum danced the entire way through the Faithless set.
Okay.
So yeah, great. I would love to have seen that.
This is fucking amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad Christmas was great, mate. So maybe we should crack on with the show then. It's been quite a wild ride, so we should get into it. But before we do, we should hear from our boy at Stay Cozy Clothing.
Oh, go on then.
All right. Is this thing on?
Well, howdy doody, everybody.
This is Braden Berry from Say We Can Fly, founder of Stay Cozy Clothing, your one-stop shop for the coziest, most fashionable hoodies, t-shirts, and more.
Gosh, Mickey.
That's right, folks. And we're proud to say that we are now sponsoring
the Chronicles of Podcast. Ouch.
Hosted by Tom and Jamie.
Like, you can get 10% off, man.
That's right, Shaggy. Just use the special code, The Chronicles, at checkout.
Oh, boys.
So, Jamie, here we go. What an unbelievable year this has been for us. It's actually kind of mental when you look back at it and go, like, the people we spoke to and everything. It's just, this has just been, we've reached heights that I thought that, weren't. How do I explain it? It's like you have these dreams. You go, "Oh, I'll be great for the show, but obviously we're just happy to do it this way." And then you're like, "Hang on a second, wait a minute. What do you mean? Oh, okay, we'll keep going."
I know what you mean. Like, I've been doing a lot of reflecting this past week while I've been thinking about doing this show, and some of the people we have spoken to in this past year is absolutely insane. Like people which, before we booked them, we'd never really heard of. And they're like, holy shit, these are amazing. Why have I never heard these before? And then people you've loved since childhood, and they're like, holy shit, I'll get to talk to this person. And yeah, it's just insane with some of the people we've spoken to this year.
I think the pinnacle for you was definitely Wednesday. I think that was the moment where you were like, bucket list guest, holy shit. Strap yourselves in, boys, here we go.
And a huge sense of pride for myself because I didn't fangirl and I acted professional the whole time.
You did amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. That's why I just went, do you know what? Jamie's kind of got this. I'll just kick back and watch the magic happen. So, it's been a nuts year. So, what we'd like to do is should we have a look at some highlights?
Go on then, highlight us. Speaking of the theatre of your live shows, there's a story rumor that I heard many years ago about like early days of your career, and I just want to clarify if this is true because it's one of those stories. I need to know if this is true. I heard back in the days of FDQ, you used to feed KFC to a chicken on stage. Is this true?
Partially true. He never made it to the stage to try the chicken live. Let me back this up. So I lived in North Carolina. I grew up in North Carolina. And it's, I lived out in the country. And it was common to be driving down some country road and see a sign out front for someone that goes, tomatoes, or pecans for, come by and get it. And then it's also not rare to see chickens for sale. I saw a sign driving down the road, chicken for sale, like $2, $3, something like that. So I'm like, back it up. And I sent my girlfriend in there because she looked normal. And I think at the time I had like purple hair, and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, she went up to this old farmer guy and they sold her a chicken for a couple of bucks and put it in like a cardboard box. And I took it back to my house, and I went to Home Depot and bought some chicken wire and some 2x4s. And I built this cool little cage out in my garage, and it was right next to where we rehearsed. And he was going to be our stage chicken. And so I built a little cage for him that would travel with us. And we were a 3-piece band at the time. And my OCD just couldn't put the placement of a 3-piece band. I was like, man, it just looks weird. I can't stand in the middle. So we got to have, so the chicken set the balance off. He was the middle guy. And I built him a cool little, like, I call it the Tweety Bird cage. I built it and we put him in the cage. And so he was in the center, and we played, I believe, 2 shows with the chicken. And we were going to play the following weekend. And I remember, like I said, I built this cool little cage for him in the rehearsal spot. And I was waiting for the band guys to show up for rehearsal one day. And I just came in and I had a box of KFC and I was eating my chicken. And I'm just like, munching down on it. And a piece of chicken fell into the chicken cage. And the chicken jumped down and he ate it immediately. And I was like, what? Well, this chicken just ate chicken. I could turn this into I'm thinking like some sort of like green guy at a circus. And I'm like going, I could announce this as the cannibal chicken. And I'll be part of the show where I bring out a bucket of KFC and I just feed it chicken. Like, people would think that was the most insane thing, whether they liked us or not. They would remember that forever. And so that was the plan. And I don't know what happened. It was a hot summer. I don't know if he died from a heat overdose, but the day of the show, I went out and he was legs up. Like,
no.
Yeah. So he didn't make it to it was going to be his big show.
Oh,
and,
man.
So yeah, a lot of people didn't like the fact we had a chicken on stage. I don't think you can get away with doing that these days. This is 1996. So, but yeah, back in 1996, we were, we played the kind of venues that, I guess we didn't really ask. We just did it. Like, we used to bring, like I said, we brought a chicken. We used to do our own pyrotechnics. I used to build my own pyro. we used to do that all the time, and we'd be the opening band, and they'd be, okay, here you guys, you got a 30-minute set. I'm like, cool. Let me set up these things of gunpowder over here. We'd come out, we're the Frankenstein drag queen. Fire behind us. I have no idea if it's going to go good or bad. We don't have anybody watching. We're just like, just go for it. Just look forward. And if nobody's screaming and you're not on fire, go for it.
I worked with Kiss too.
Did you?
I was. I don't know if that you saw that on my resume, but my band, when I was 14 years old, got produced by Paul Stanley during these are crazy, 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 crazy nights. Whoa, yeah. During the Crazy Nights days, Paul Stanley became my producer of the band. And he and I sang backgrounds in the studio together, and then I did some Paul Stanley backgrounds on one of his records in the early 2000s as well.
Yeah, Paul Stanley, dude. Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, one of the best voices ever.
Okay, I don't want to wear anything else now. I just want all Paul Stanley stories now. No,
oh my God. It was so cool. It was like the first celebrity that I was like working, literally standing in the studio, singing backgrounds on the song that I wrote, that he and I were going, one on one, me on you. I want to show you what I love you. One on one, you know it's true. Whoa. That was the part that we had to sing together, standing there together, singing it. We're like, wow, I'm singing with Paul Stanley. Yo. Oh. That Crazy Nights record, we were loving that Crazy Nights record.
Love that record.
His voice is so high. I remember he sang at one point, well, I can walk, talk my way. Oh. My way, one vocal, he sounds like a chipmunk. Talk. Like so high. I'm like, dude.
I've listened to an interview recently and like, why don't you do any non-makeup stuff now? And he's like, I can't hit those notes anymore.
Right, you can't hit those notes anymore. Talk. I think it might have been higher than that, but
it probably was. Is high pitch.
Yeah. There's something to be said for recording vocals that you can sing after you turn 50. Before you turn 50, so that you could actually have a career singing your music after you're 50. I don't know how Paul Stanley's going to ever sing his shit. Again, he's got to use it all, put all the high parts on track, and then just sing what he can sing live. But most of his shit is high. I have that problem with the Pokemon theme song. I got to get up early to rehearse for that shit if I want to go, you teach me and I'll teach you. It's high. Come on. Why? I mean, what's going on? See, it was not for reproduction. It was only for the TV show.
And for the first year I was with them, I was still living in the UK. First 2 years, actually. First 2 years I was with them, I was still in the UK. Do you know the story about I was ex-division champion and I was over here, and then because of the volcano erupted, I couldn't get back for the pay-per-view?
No, don't know.
Okay, so this is 2010. I was ex-division champion. Okay, and then that volcano in Iceland erupted, didn't it?
Yeah,
I remember. And all flights were grounded. And they had a pay-per-view the weekend I was supposed to fly back, but I couldn't get back. I was stuck in England. So they stripped me of the X-Division title at that pay-per-view.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Bastards!
And then when I finally got back on the next set of TV tapings, I just won the TV title. I won the X-Division title back.
Oh, well, that's all right. Were you scheduled to successfully defend on the pay-per-view then?
As far as I know, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They could have just scrapped the match and waited till the taping.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. But there we go.
Card subject to change.
But like the schedule for TNA wasn't that bad because they did their TV tapings in blocks. So you do a pay-per-view on Sunday and TV Monday, Tuesday. then you'd be home, and then maybe you do a house show loop the following weekend, or maybe it would be the weekend after. So you probably do like maximum probably 10 shows a month for them. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that.
Thanks for bringing up Freddie Got Fingered. That's one of my.
I love that film.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got it down as well.
Triple award winner, worst film ever made, worst performance, and worst director, all thanks to Tom Green. So I feel somehow I've had Nickelodeon slime of Freddie all over me. I'm honored nonetheless.
It's just that goat. Is it the goat skin or whatever? Or he's on the motorway. He goes,
the deer.
Oh, the deer. That's it. Oh my god.
Oh dear, yeah.
I'm sorry, but any film that rigs up a system of sausages and keyboards is a winner for me.
Well, it's weird because I will go to different cities. I'm shooting in Atlanta, for example, and done the films you mentioned, and the local crew, behind the scenes guy. Oh yeah, you did that. Oh, you did The Fly. Oh yeah, really. RoboCop. Huh? You did Freddie Got Fingered. Oh God. Hey guys, he did Freddie Got Fingered. He's the best. It used to be Grandma's Boy. It used to be Vampire in Brooklyn. But, these are all market movies. That's what cameramen do, or cinematographers do, and apply our craft to, because I don't dictate who's in it and what's it about. I just, that's my motto, literally. It says on my business card, I don't write them, I just light them. So you guys write it.
I like it.
That's all it could ever be.
And, you've helped create memories for so many people with some of these projects, but there's one of them that stood out to me the most on a personal level, because when I was like 2 years old, my mom has memories of this. I would run up and down our sofa with a little plastic guitar, jumping off, watching music videos by a certain man named Mr. David Lee Roth. And you did the fat suit on the Going Crazy music video, and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing. It brought back so many memories for me.
That was that was really funny because an ex-circus clown who turned assistant director got a job producing a film for CBS called Crazy from the Heat.
Yeah.
And David had just left Van Halen and they were going to do a movie. Well, Dave's a funny guy. He hired a couple of little people to be, I guess, security guys for him. And I guess, I'm going to use an improper word here, but it's nothing like having a scary midget being your head of your security team, right? Well, one of those guys, two guys were ex-circus clown friends of mine. And here's my ex other clown who's a producer. So they called me and said, hey, we're doing the show with Dave Lee Roth. He wants a fat makeup. So I go in, I meet Dave, and he's just an average, great guy. And we start talking about it. And I said, okay, I need to do a full face of you and arms and all this stuff. And he came over to the Berman studio, which was close by. And I took all my casts and did all the stuff for it. And everything was sculpted. In the meantime, I'd gotten my job at NBC. So this is all this in-between stuff happening. And then they called me back and they go, Steve, the movie got canceled. I go, crap. What am I going to do? We did the makeup test already. I did this really cool makeup test on Dave at his office. And my son came along and I borrowed a video camera. So I have the video of the first makeup test somewhere. Hopefully it's not degraded, but I still have to pull it out. That's another thing I have to do, is pull out all these videos and movies out of stuff. But we were going to do this really cool makeup on Dave, and it was going to be his own hair. He was going to be dressed as King Neptune coming up out of the ocean. So I designed a full naked bodysuit with a mermaid tail, a fishnet tank top, his little gloves with the fingers out and stuff. And I thought, okay, this is going to be cool. What I need, I'll take a picture of the original design for that as King Neptune and send it to you.
Oh my God, please do.
It'll be a hoot to see what it originally was going to be. So meanwhile, I'm visiting my family in Oklahoma. I'm there for a wedding. And I get a call, and it's Dave, and he said, hey, Steve, we're going to do a music video. But the concept has changed. You don't have to do a full suit. We're costume department's going to make a fat suit for me. We just needed to use the arms and the face, but we needed a pompadour hairstyle, silver pompadour, because I'm going to do it with my partner. We're going to do the what was it called? The two
Fabulous Picasso brothers.
Picasso brothers.
Yes.
So his partner was the other character, and so then we started putting this together. Meanwhile, I had to fly back. We shot the video in 2 days. The first time I'd put the makeup on since the test 6 months before was the first day it works.
Wow.
And I'm using new techniques and painting it to get it ready. We put him all together. My friend hairstylist came in and helped me build the wig right on Dave. And she sewed 2 wigs together and got it working for me. And I tidied it all up and got it going. And we shot that for 2 days. But Dave was just a blast to work with. It was so much fun. And when we go back, I'm not going to tell certain things, but let's just say he gave me a good going away present to keep me up and awake and happy all the way home. Something that requires a cigarette lighter. And it wasn't a candle. So he goes, hey, this will keep you up because I know you got an early plane to catch. So we kept in touch. He even called me back later to do a mask that was on the front of his album called Eat 'em and Smile. It was a witch doctor mask.
Yeah, I know the one.
So
I didn't realize you did that.
Yeah, I did a vacuform of it and put a hinged jaw on it and painted the makeup on the clear vacuform mask and did all the feathers in it. So all he had to do was run off stage and throw that mask on, and he would be in that character.
But here's the thing: if you went on the iPlayer now and whacked on an episode from the most recent series, you will not be able to move for fart jokes.
Perfect. Well, that's what I'm doing tonight. Yeah,
that's my be a laugh. The food one's quite good. I play a German war official in that one.
Oh, amazing! That's going straight on then.
Excellent.
Any German accent done by a British guy. Oh.
Again, like I said, that's one of the one wing of the trifecta that makes it perfect. Yeah. Someone going, oh, le français.
Yeah. It's beautiful, is it not?
Baguette. I did one where I had to play a Swedish inventor, Gustav something. Basically, he invented the plastic bag.
Okay.
And so he's like history's greatest monster. But like his whole thing was like, initially his intentions were pure because he was like, the thing about making the bags out of plastic instead of paper is that they'll last longer and can be reused. At which point all the supermarkets were like, we'll have 1 billion of them, please. And he was like, okay, I'm sad, but I'm very rich, so I guess it's fine. And so I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do for like a Swedish accent? Because the only sort of cultural reference point I've got for a Swedish accent is it's ABBA or Swedish Chef, right? And like I can't very well go on the CBBC, educate, inform, entertain. I can't very well go on that going. I mean, I did.
Yeah.
And I'm ashamed of it, but I'm not talented enough to do the Swedish accent any sort of justice / dignity.
What I love this year as well is because we've made so many amazing friends during this show, is if I've got these people to come back and back again. Like we've had Baz Black on again, and that friendship has just gained us some incredible experiences, especially for yourself the past few weeks. Braden Barry coming on with Micah to talk all about Dake and Tyke, that incredible fucking series, which if you haven't checked out, people, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, and if you do check the interview, go watch the interview first, just give you a bit of a taste, and then go and find it on YouTube, but you won't be disappointed.
Little nibbles of Dake and Tyke. We can't suggest it more. And even people like our very good friend, the hilarious stand-up comic Tom Stade. 3 times this guy has been on this show. And as I've been looking at highlights this past week, I'm going, come on, Tom, we need to get you on for a 4th time, mate. I don't even know what we're going to talk to you about, but I just want to talk to you again. You're fucking brilliant.
Commander himself. Yeah, Tom's been a mainstay. He's been an absolute legend, very supportive of the show, as obviously has Baz Black and Braden. In regards to Baz, obviously, if you listen to last week's episode, I jet setted off to Dublin to interview the cast and crew of the Dublin Crust movie, which will be out next year. We obviously will be releasing the vlog, just like the Bloodstock one, out early next year. So keep your eyes peeled for that little bad boy. But since you mentioned those three wonderful humans, shall we have a look at their highlights?
Go on then.
Excellent.
Mighty fine selection of wall art you've got back there, sir.
Yes. This I would if I were single, none of this would be on my wall. This is definitely put up there by people who know art. I walk around the art place going, meh, meh. This is a Van Gogh, Tom. And do I own it? No, I don't care about it.
This took the artist 5 years to paint. Did it? Fucking hell, what a waste of time.
Excellent.
Good
I'm glad this museum was donation only.
Yeah. Oh, Tom, thank you so much for coming back again.
Hold on here. Hold on. Okay. Yes. Do this. I got to do something for a second.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm pretty sure that's going to Trudy or somebody. Hold on. They've done something here. They need a code. I got you, Trude. That was hilarious. The code you're looking for, Trude, is 710. We were talking about your art.
Oh, thanks.
No, don't say thanks. 523.
Oh, I thought you said thanks. Not in a good way.
No, we've been laughing at it.
You got Ugly Cat.
Yeah, we got Ugly Cat up there. This is her in the background. That was her hand. I don't know if you've ever seen Trudy before.
Hi, Trudy.
We're back.
Hey, boo. Get the fuck out of here, woman. The man cave, man. This is where the penises hang out. Okay? You don't need no tits and vagina here.
I mean,
penises
give us
discussing
an hour rest, okay?
Yeah.
Filmed it, and the budget went from up here to here to here, and we were calling in every favor and locations, and we just didn't have the luxury of time. It was pure indie filmmaking, but still trying to keep the quality up, even though we were, I was doing 2 days straight, no sleep, no nothing, just going like hell for leather. And the team and the crew were just like amazing. Like I honestly could not have done it without them getting behind the project, because most people would just turn around and tell you to fuck off, like what we were putting them through, because it's my vision, it's my my film, and I'm expecting everybody to match my enthusiasm and energy levels. But they pretty much did, and it was a team effort. We got it across the line. The community was amazing as regards locations, letting us use different places. But look, anybody I tell this to just either don't believe me or just like, you're just absolutely crazy. But we did 32 locations in 7 days. And that was across 3 different counties. So
no way.
Yeah, it was just absolute, like, I can't even explain how crazy it was. But we have just literally finished the assembly edit, and the assembly edit, for anybody who doesn't know, is basically us going through scene by scene. So each scene is edited how we want it, how we shape the film, with the script, and then we go back and we start adding in all the color.
Oh, did you have to hire the cafe out in episode 2?
Yeah, that's kind of a funny story. There's a place called Dave's Diner, which was like, right, nice. I lived down the street from it. Like I shot Here's My Heart video there, and like I knew the owner pretty well, and I'd just been going there, through high school, so it was kind of just part of my life. So the new owner, he like knew about my music, and just like kind of knew him. He's really nice, and I was like, hey man, like we have this project we're working on. Like, would it be okay if we filmed there? And he's like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So he like let us use it after hours. And so he was just in the back the whole time we were shooting that whole diner scene. And yeah, so we finished it. He never really saw what we were doing. Whenever it was done, I emailed it to him. Like, hey man, like, because he was like, yeah, I want to see it. Like, show me, and we'll repost it on our Facebook page. So I emailed it to him, and I was like, hey man, thanks again. Here's the video. Never heard back from him to this day. So yeah, I don't know if he, yeah. So
I'm not gonna have people think that people wait 45 minutes for their food.
Yeah, right. So yeah, because I thought about that. I was like, did this? Because we showed the Dave's Diner in the episode. So
who was the other guy that was like the gentleman stand?
That was
and you can buy real estate there, and people, you can go to comedy clubs, you can go to concerts. So Snoop Dogg's getting his place, right?
Yeah.
So like I called Snoop. I said, hey, Snoop, you getting in on this fucking metaverse crap or what? Put the joint down. I'm trying to have a serious conversation. Did somebody say? You're like, the fuck, Snoop? Changed, man.
You used to be cool.
Now he started ordering McDonald's.
That was so fucking weird, though. And it's like, all of a sudden, like, what? Wait, hang on. Isn't he like one of the biggest rappers in the world? Why is he doing a delivery advert in the UK?
Oh, dude. Can you imagine? Excuse me, my allergies are kicking in. Can you imagine, like, Snoop Dogg, how much money they offered him to do that?
Yeah.
That's
giving
crazy.
bars. They're supposed to give bars, not actual notes.
Oh, dude, like, I bet he got more for that commercial than me, you, and Jamie and our children and our children's children will make in a lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Just to sit there and pretend someone's giving you a burger and sing Just Eat at the end of it.
Yeah.
I want some money.
Did somebody say just cash? Of course, man.
So alongside, obviously, all the hilarity, comedy and hijinks that we get up to on this show, obviously, there's also the serious side of things, where we actually come out of our comfort zone a little bit and talk about real subject matters, with Jess Wild, for example, and about men not being emotional. We don't show emotion, we men. Yuska and his battle with depression is another massive one again. Yeah, there's been some insane moments of just real clarity and, almost like deep and thoughtful in a way, which is another side of the show that, I love.
Absolutely. But like you say, we like to have a laugh about guests, but sometimes life isn't always funny and there is some serious matters to talk about. As you say, Yuska and his mental health. We had a great conversation with friend of the show, Ori Kimball, about the work she did helping people that suffered in the hurricane over in New Orleans. And, these serious conversations, people need to hear these stories as well, not just having a laugh, because as I said, life isn't always a laugh. There are some very serious topics to have. And as Tom said, sometimes it does put us out of our comfort zone, but they need talking about.
There's one specific moment as well, which you will see in the next set of clips, which is when Jamie and Dane Campbell came together and discussed body dysmorphia. And again, it's another moment where I was like, I'm just going to let these two, hash it out because it's quite beautiful to watch. So yeah, how you were quite proud of that conversation?
I was proud, but I'm not gonna lie, I watched you back earlier getting prepared for this, and that was a tough rewatch. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but again, that's the serious moments to do with this show. This is the beauty of doing this podcast is, we don't have to have a laugh all the time. Yeah, it's great, but there are wonderful and beautiful moments such as these. Well, when I mentioned that you're a special kind of person and you're a wonderful human, because I want people to know this, and this is why I want to bring it up. When after Hurricane Ida hit New Orleans, you went out of your way to provide anyone and everyone you could with food, water, shelter, whatever you could do, you did it, and you were doing it for weeks on end. And I just want to commend you. I want to bow down to you. I want to just right now for a world to hear that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. I don't mean to. I'm so sorry to make you cry.
And No, I also had that written in my notes as well because it's incredible. It really is. Not many people would have done that.
It wasn't just a case of like, help the neighbor. You literally were putting out social media posts. You were asking people for help, this, that, and the other. You were supporting your neighbors. You were trying to get food and water wherever you could get it from to wherever you need to get it to. Just, I bow down to you. I bow down to you, Ori, because I think that's phenomenal.
Thank you. I'm from New Orleans, so and I also lived down in the lower parishes for a little while, and it's already hard enough down there because there's no major cities, there's no major, there's one way in and out down into the lower parishes, and I know what life was like down there. And the community down there is so close knit. Everybody knows everybody. If you're helping somebody, you're helping somebody. If you're hurting somebody, you're hurting somebody. And I saw what happened in my area, and I actually had to leave because my house was okay. I didn't have power, but I felt like I wasn't doing enough. So I went a couple hours away where I had internet and power, and I spent 2 weeks coordinating supplies in and out because I couldn't imagine what they were going through. I went through Hurricane Katrina, which also hit the Gulf South pretty hard. I was lucky. I had friends who were in the military, so I got to stay on base. But down in the lower parishes, there wasn't anything. We tried to get in boats, and we had people hauling, trailers full of water and goods and tents and all kinds of stuff. And like the more I saw going in, and it wasn't just me, it was a huge coordinated effort with so many people. The United Way, the Red Cross, the Cajun Navy down here, which is a volunteer program who goes and like rescues people out of, their houses, and then they bring in supplies. It was such a huge community effort and global effort at this point to make sure that nobody was going without food or water or medicine or emergency care. And I couldn't, knowing I was okay, watch somebody going through that. And it's hard being the type of person I am. I'm a very caring person. I care about everybody. I don't want anybody to suffer. I don't want anybody to feel left out. I don't want anybody to be like, I can't have a chocolate bar.
The video for Karma, we literally almost died because of smoke inhalation. It was really unsafe. We were in a very not ventilated area with we had all the smoke going off and the fire, and then we had like a heater that was like a propane heater. It was just like heating up this because it was like negative 20 degrees outside or some crazy shit. So then we were inside breathing in all this awful, smoke, and then to go get fresh air, we'd have to go breathe in negative 20 degree air. And that shoot was literally, I think, like a 16-hour shoot, like a 12 to 16-hour shoot. It was fucking insane. And I was like coughing up blood. Everybody else was coughing up like black. I mean, it was like, we thought like we'd just fucking die, to be honest.
Yeah, we'd have to go to the hospital, but luckily everyone's symptoms went away after like a week.
Yeah,
it was really bad. It was horrible.
It was the worst one that we've ever done for sure. And then
when all of our videos are like cold, or they're just like, to get to the location, we got to like trek through the woods with the drum kit.
Losing control was actually really smooth, and that was nice.
Yeah, that was easy.
That was a pretty easy one. The only thing was the thing that he put around because it was like a big track that he was like spinning around us. So that was like, there was a bit of setup there, but in terms of the conditions and stuff, that was really smooth. And then the Don't Go video was easy too. That was probably the fastest shoot we've ever done. We just went in there and did a couple of run throughs of just like the performance shots, and easy peasy.
So sorry, Jade, the Karma video then, why did you carry on with it if it was fucking you over?
I mean, we were down to like the last 4 takes when all of a sudden everyone started coughing, and like, oh, everyone's coughing. We're all like getting lightheaded. Like, but we have to get like these last 2 takes or 4 takes
We had to make it worth it. Yeah.
We did 2 more takes and we're like, nope, we're out of here. We can't even finish. Like there
We
were
didn't
2 more
even do-
shots we wanted to get, but we're like, nope, we got to pull the plug on this. This is too bad.
Here, the play we're talking about is it's a story only you can tell, really. Because as you said, it's from you've written it about your personal experiences. But what made you actually want to write this as a play? Was this like a form of therapy for you?
I actually wrote about it when it was happening. I wrote email updates to family and friends, and just to let them know what was happening to our boy and how we were, navigating this new and unbelievably painful experience. And I started getting responses a couple of weeks into it from people that I didn't know, like from different parts of the world. They would say, my friend Don in North Carolina sent me this, and they were from Germany or wherever. And I really just wanted you to know that I'm thinking about you and I love this. Can you put me on your email? So I started to get responses. And so then I started writing more seriously with a different, like I was actually talking to a different audience. So after that, the 2 years of going through this, I had some material, and Riyadh, my wife, is the one who said, don't you need to tell, if you're going to tell this story, you need to tell it on stage as an actor, because that's what you do. You don't make a book out of it, because people won't read it. You'll be disappointed, whatever. Tell them, get them in a room, stand up there and tell them this, find a way to do that. So she encouraged me to do that. And that was the genesis of it.
I was just going to take body confidence issues. Like, I think it's nuts in 2022 that it's still a big thing, but because people come in all different shapes and sizes, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But what do you think it is that's still causing these issues today, like in today's society still?
I think that it really boils down to a few factors. For one, a lot of us just aren't open about like our struggles. So we see social media and we're seeing the highlights of everybody. If we look at advertisement, we're seeing the best of everybody. So I think when everybody sees all that information and they digest it, we just are so easy to look at ourselves and be more critical. And that's why for me, I try to make people feel comfortable right off of the bat by being honest about, hey, I look like this in my videos, or hey, I struggle with this. And I try to show those different things that while it makes me insecure, it makes it more relatable to the people watching me. So they realize that it's not that big of a deal. Because you don't know if whether or not somebody next to you has the same insecurity. So I just think us not having that open conversation and comparing ourselves to each other and everything online is really what allows that to continue to grow.
Yeah, I was going to say, though, I get the feeling a lot of it is caused by social media. As good as social media can be for a lot of things, I think that people comparing themselves to people on social media is probably the biggest thing. And I'm guilty of it. I'm sure everyone in this world is probably guilty of it at some point.
Oh, yeah. And like a more like, I guess, like out there point to say too, especially like when you look at things like pornography, for example, that is not the realistic body that most people are going to naturally have. It's not wrong to get things like plastic surgery or do procedures, because for me, I make that be part of my message where you can embrace yourself, but also don't feel embarrassed to do things that you want to do for your body. But I think a lot of people also see that too. And they're like, my boobs don't exactly stay up like that, or my stomach does not do that. And that's also another really key aspect where it's like, again, that's the highlight. You're not seeing the rest of it.
This could just be me making an assumption here, but do you find that men are less comfortable to talk about these things than women are?
Yes, I think, well, it's a tricky one. I think when it comes to toys, definitely. There's still a real stigma around guys using toys for themselves, with a partner, like whether it's I think guys getting toys themselves still very much feel it's almost like instead of a partner or like, oh, can't you get a girl is still kind of like a weird myth, that it's sort of only like lonely guys or whatever who have sex toys, which is just not true at all. Or that, your partner's sex toy is competition with you, and that it's they go to that when you haven't satisfied them or whatever the hell, which again is, I'm pleased to see you guys shaking your heads, is completely not true. It's not the case. It's your sidekick, not your competition, exactly. And that's the way that it should be. But you're absolutely right. I think there is still, generally speaking, in wide sweeps here, generally speaking, guys are more sort of reticent to talk about real pleasure and exploration, which is it's a strange thing because there's sort of such a divide here, and I think in reality, like, guys can be a bit more forthcoming when it comes to, sliding into your DMs, for example, or like, reaching out in that way, or maybe making like the first move and things like this. But when it comes to the real reality of, doing something to up your game, or, that could take you to the next step, then yeah, I think a lot of guys are nervous about this. And I wish I could get to the bottom of why. I've got a few theories, but I feel like that is the proof of where my job is still necessary. And, when I read the comments on stuff that I post online, generally speaking, it's guys who want to make me shut up. Like, they don't want me to talk about these topics. And I think it could be from a myriad of reasons. It's either they don't like an empowered woman, and they don't like a lady talking about sex. They certainly don't like me talking about men's things, because I don't know, I need reminding that I don't have a penis, in fact, so I'm not allowed to talk about these subjects. Because I know I need to remind them that I can in fact read, and I can, it's like, it's a crazy thing. There's a lot of issues with this, and I don't know if it's like an ego thing. I don't know. I think guys are socialized to almost believe that they're already sex gods, and it doesn't matter what topic you're talking on. If you already think you know it all, it's the most dangerous position you can put yourself in, because you're never going to learn anything new. And that's on any subject. You always have to be humble enough to realize, like I said earlier, you can't know it all. So, things change all the time. And that's, like I said, that's on any subject. As soon as you start thinking you know it all, you've stopped growing, you've stopped learning, and you've stuck yourself in a box, so, yeah.
I think part of me thinks it is that whole macho, I am man, I don't need help sort of thing. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's like, it seems like it's socially acceptable. It's perfectly fine for a woman to own a vibrator. You go enjoy yourself, love. But if a man owns a sleeve or whatever that may be, pervert, fucking weirdo.
I know. Yeah.
And I've experienced that firsthand. Like, when I met my wife, I had one of those toys, and she was like, "The fuck is that? What are you got that for?" It seems to be that social difference, and I don't get why.
I know, it's such a strange divide, and to me it's always baffled me as well, because when you sort of rewind the clock back, I'm sure we can all relate to sort of when you're in your teenage years, it couldn't be more opposite. It's, I remember in teenage years, like, the guys coming in and like they'd openly talk about having a wank and all the rest of it, and it was not a thing. Whereas girls like oh fishy fingers or whatever, like, it was all this thing. It was like, it was completely, it was wrong and bad. It's almost like internalized slut shaming. Like, you haven't even been with somebody else, but women aren't allowed to do that thing, at any age, actually. And then men are kind of, or young guys are kind of, celebrated for it, and like, oh yeah, you've reached the next level.
Yeah, I was old, but I remember the keyboard player of Amorphis, Sander, after like 18 years, I went to play Into Die For again, 2011 or somewhere there, and I had the skirt still on. And Sander put under the picture a comment that like, and the dance goes on. And I was like, yeah. And I already felt like, okay, the player of Amorphis is like putting a comment for me. Even I know Sander pretty well, but it was so far away from being in like an active, high level public rock and roll life that for me it felt like, oh my God, a celebrity is talking to me, even if he sounds kind of like my friend.
I love
on
it.
daily basis. Yeah, when you get a distance to be yourself there, you start to see it a whole different way, and that's a good thing because it keeps you kind of like a humble to the whole fact that you're wearing it, that you have the privilege to get it, and it is still that I'm justifying myself, to have that experience, and it helped a lot when I found myself. Because it was a burden. I didn't want to be ex-member all my life, but I just couldn't know how to handle with the fact that when do I talk about it? When is it okay to talk about it? When it came to conversation, sometimes then I see the reactions of my peer group, the same age. Everyone knows him, almost everyone. So I see the bit of a change there. Like, okay, you're wearing a him, and I was thinking that, do I think that they think I was in a hymn? And it started to be really messy. And it took me approximately 13 or 14 years to recover from my departure. So it was a long road. And the youth work sort of was the closer in a way to that I freely could talk about it to youngsters. So in between that, there was alcoholism. There was I was trying to find answer from booze, and that you can't find the answer from there. There were several years of deep depression, which I won again, and I was in a dark place, but still there was a hidden hope and a spark of hope, which never completely went down, so I could ignite it bit by bit and completely build a new me, because I was taken away from normal me and put into what is this? Anyways, a vortex of rock and roll, weird star life. And then I was thrown to really, really weird normal life, which was kind of all the money, which didn't make any difference. There wasn't money anymore. And then I read from the papers and Ville got something around 500,000 euros. And I was like, okay, nice. And everything was great. And in the end, I won. It's easy to say now that I'm privileged to have every kind of feelings. And even it was hardest when I didn't have any feelings, which is my definition for depression, that kind of you're kind of like a living corpse. And life is about feelings. And when you don't have anything, then you just have to survive. And I got the feelings back, and then this is colorful. It's not like this. And
you could go in a time machine, go back to young Master Dane Campbell, and give yourself one piece of advice. What would it be?
That's a great question. To be honest, one thing that's that's been affecting my whole life, to be honest, is the kind of weight thing. And I'm very conscious about that and my upper body. And then even though I've lost weight since I was younger, I've still got, excess stuff going on.
Oh, I feel you, my friend.
I'd rather not have. So it's difficult though, because I don't know, I can't blame myself for a lot of it, because I was literally an obese child, and I ate the same as my brothers apparently. So I think it's a bit of genetics in there, bad metabolism and all that stuff. But yeah, I guess if someone could have advised me to go out and play football more, or go out and play with my friends more, that might have helped that situation, and not led me to have a childhood and most of my teenage years as being a fat kid. So it's really, honestly, I've never really I go away now with my wife, whatever. I don't really like taking my top off and stuff. I'm really conscious whenever I do. I never walk around topless anywhere and things like that. It's really affected me. And I was maybe if I was never big as a kid, and I had a bit more of a normal body shape. Now, not that I would need to be muscly or buff or anything like that, but just an average, normal. Don't mind a bit of, a little bit of a little belly, but it's more the upper part I'm more conscious of, if you know what I mean. I don't know whether it's genes a bit, or but that some form of advice which would have not allowed, which have prevented me to grow up with that kind of body. To be honest with you, I think that would be one thing.
I relate to you 100% to that one, because I lost 6 stone a few years back, and
wow.
So I completely relate.
You're looking good, man. You're looking good.
Thank you. So are you.
Both of you are.
Devil.
Yeah. I'm hidden a bit in I just wear black all the time because again, that's one reason why I literally just wear black all the time, because it's
the mental aspect.
Yeah, I think a lot. Literally, I'm convinced I don't, but like sometimes this like common themes with like body dysmorphia. Some people say, "Oh, you look fine. Don't worry about it. You look amazing." Blah blah. I'm like, well, I look in the mirror, and I literally just see 2 massive man boobs and a belly, and like people say they don't see it, but I'm like, well, I can literally see it. So other people can see it, and I don't know, but like there's a fine line between that and like the body dysmorphia thing, apparently. But I don't know.
No. This is like talking to myself. I know exactly what you mean.
I appreciate it, man. It's not something I talk about a lot. I'm open to talk about it with whoever, but it's definitely a thing, and it's affected a lot of decisions in my life, and probably held me back to some degree. And like for example, right, New Year's Eve a few years back, I went to Iceland. My wife, my brother, and a load of his mates. And they're not small guys, a lot of them are definitely bigger than me. And they did this thing, fireworks went off at midnight, tops off parties. That's what they do, take their tops off. And I was like, I'm not taking my top off. But like there was definitely at least 3 guys way bigger than me, didn't care. But I'm like, I can't do it. And I just didn't. I just filmed them. But I
the exact same.
And so it affects people more than other people, I suppose. Some people are more comfortable in their body, but I'm definitely not comfortable in mine. Even though I've worked hard trying, like Tom, when you said you used to go to the gym a lot, I did as well. I was going, 3-4 times a week. With the intention of toning up a bit and doing the kind of, I was following the body coach, all that stuff. I was getting well into that high intensity interval training. It did work, to be fair, really, really good. I lost a few stone doing it, but I just kept going. I wasn't seeing any results really after I shed the initial weight.
Yeah.
And then I kind of injured my shoulder, which kind of scared me, because I'm like, well, I got to look after this shoulder because I needed to play drums. And I never really went back to the gym. I got like a few things in the house I can do, and I'm more careful, but I haven't gone back to a gym since then. But I feel like, well, I've managed to keep my body shape the same by not going to the gym. I haven't got any worse. So I kind of, and I never felt comfortable there really, because I'm like, I was this little, it's weird when I'm there, I feel small, but I still feel conscious of my, my upper body, especially on a running machine and all this stuff. And you're conscious of people looking at you and stuff like that. It's a weird thing. Weird. Don't get me started about going swimming. That doesn't happen. Even though I know it's really good for me, I just wouldn't do it because I can't do it.
It's painful how much I relate to you right now.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, well, if you ever want to chat about this, you know what I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah, or anyone else, if they relate to what we're saying, because I think it's definitely not a thing I talk about with many people, and I think maybe if more people relate to each other and realize actually it's not the end of the world, it might give us a bit more confidence as a group. That, like my wife says, no one's looking at you. I'm like, but they are.
one thing I've absolutely loved from this past year is the amount of times we have laughed so hard it's almost brought tears to our eyes. Like some of these incredible stories we're hearing from people, and from people we never thought we'd talk to. Like if you'd asked me in 2021 if I thought in 2022 I'd have a conversation with Chesney Hawkes about being on a cherry picker, being worshipped by Coolio, I quite frankly would say no. I never thought that would happen in my life, but it did. Like, it's just been some hilarious moments.
It's almost it's great moments, really. It's moments where you're sitting there and you're like, I can't believe that I'm a part of history. I'm being a part of something that I'm taking out to the world and going, we're leaving a lasting legacy here. You know, Rico Ross, for example, that his school was called Plantation. Like, what? I'm sorry, Rico. Can you say that again? Like, do you know what I mean? There's moments that really make you go like, holy fuck.
And it's moments like that you take away more than the reason you wanted to speak to this person in the first place. I was like, Rico Ross is in Aliens. Fuck yeah. Did I take away alien stories? Of course I did. But what did I take away most? The fact he went to a school called Plantation and has 11 siblings. What the fuck?
I mean, another absolute great classic was when we got to speak to the amazing Nell Campbell from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think she ever got off the soapbox.
No.
I don't think. I think she's still there now.
There is a possibility that she's still there now talking about things, yes.
Incredible. Enjoying her Vegemite on toast. This is what I mean. Just like mental moments in life where you go, I can't believe like, we're literally leaving a diary.
We pretty much are, yeah. Yeah. I like that.
Do you want to have a little peek? Have a little look at these bad boys?
Oh, go on. Press play.
Roll it. Well, I mean, you're a dab hand in loads of other things, though, Chesney. You've been worshipped on Big Brother. You've cooked on MasterChef. You were meant to do a bit of dancing on ice, but you had a certain instant that, is there anything that you actually can't do?
Oh, well, I'm sure there's loads. I can't fix boats. And I'm looking out the window here at these two guys fixing my dad's boat, and that's not something I could do. Yeah, it's funny these days when you're a celebrity. I say that in inverted commas. You do anything but what you became famous for. So as you say, I was like MasterChef. I started my reality TV stuff. I did a show called The Games where I was like training to be Olympic athlete, and it was mad. I was like, what? I was 10-meter diving. That was mad. That was crazy. Water ski jumping. I did that. Yeah. As you say, dancing. I always get injured. I injured myself doing the games. I ripped all the cartilage out of my hip. Yeah. So I've set myself up for future problems there. And broke my leg doing dancing on ice, and really injured my ankle. Like another ligaments snapped and all that kind of shit. Oh. And so my wife's like, right, you're not doing any reality TV show anymore. That's it. No, especially anything where you have to actually run around or do stuff. Like that's why she let me do MasterChef. I said, well, I could have cut my finger off. I remember standing next to Tom from The Wanted because he was in the MasterChef when I did it. God rest his soul, by the way. He passed away recently. Yeah. I was so sad to see that. Yeah. Same as Sarah Harding. She was with us as well on that show. It's just awful. Anyway, I'll digress. So we were doing a baking challenge, and he put his bloody hand inside the friggin' blender. Chopped his bloody finger nearly off. Yeah, so I know. So maybe it's me because I was standing right near him when he did it. I mean, so I've been banned. So sorry, Ant and Dec. I'm not eating kangaroo anus for anyone.
Wait to the announcement later this year in the jungle. Chesney Hawkes.
I say no. I am always up for a challenge, so I never say never. Yeah, so no, Ant and Dec, if you are listening, you know my number, you know my digits.
You must have had some bizarre requests over the years for little things like that, especially like with the Big Brother thing and whatnot.
Oh, that was weird. As you say, being worshipped by LaToya Jackson and Coolio and Terry Christian. For those of your listeners that don't know what the hell we're talking about, there was a Big Brother about 10 years ago or so, where they used the one and only in a challenge. And every time the song came on really loud, apparently, and it came on like in the middle of the night when they were asleep at 3 a.m. and stuff like that, they must have fucking hated me. They had to stop what they were doing or get up and just go into the garden, and they had to worship at a weird shrine that they'd made with my face on it. And they were all like, getting down on their knees and like praying and stuff. It was so weird. And they did that for a whole week. And then at the end of that week, they asked if I would come down to Boreham Wood to where they were filming it. And I said, well, what do you need me to do? And they went, we want you, I can't even know I'm saying this. We want you in a cherry picker crane to be like raised above the garden while the one and only's playing. And then I just kind of like, I don't know, I looked down at my subjects or something. and that's what happened. They raised me up above the garden, and then I looked down, and there's LaToya Jackson, there's Coolio, there's Terry Christian, Tina Malone, I can't remember who else was there, and they were all literally like worshipping me and going, Chesney! I was like, okay, I don't think my life could get any more surreal than this.
Can we just imagine that initial call to be like, you what now?
You want me to what? Where?
Yeah. What flavour though, Sam? What flavour?
Pickled onion.
You
I do like
fucking hero.
I do like Flaming Hot though. Flaming Hot are a good shout, but pickled onion, pickled.
Yeah. I mean, Flaming Hot's not really a breakfast food though, is it? So.
No. Well, unless you're ready to start the day. Abruptly.
Flaming Hot Monster munching a monster. I'm on the way.
Oh God, Jesus!
Fly through the day.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Coronation Street mug as well. Fucking, we are on fire today.
I'd like to say this is my mum's, but it's not.
No.
Love a bit of curry. Love a bit.
First 20 minutes gold.
Exactly. Good job we hit record.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say I agree with on the curry front though. Soaps have never, and also what really annoys me about soaps is that they have that person on This Morning that then reveals everything that's going to happen to soaps anyway. So what's the fucking point of watching it?
Yeah, and the magazines do as well. Like the magazines will just be like car crash terror, and you're just like, right, okay. I wanted to find that out myself.
Yeah, it's so weird. No other TV series has a guru that goes on other people's shows and goes, so EastEnders, this person dies, this is going to happen. In about 4 years, this is going to happen.
It's mad. It kind of it's ridiculous. So like as a metal frontman or anyone in metal, I shouldn't admit to watching Coronation Street, but I do. I can't lie. Like I watch Coronation Street with my mum because it's kind of the one thing we watch together, as sad as it is. So it's kind of like a bonding experience.
Oh, that's lush. Do you know what they should? They should do soap crossovers. They never do that way.
No, I think they should. I think that'd be like Multiverse of Madness. Ken Barlow versus Phil Mitchell or something. It's like one of our songs.
Just wrote a new song. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no! Like in Corrie, the sheep's escaped. It's all right. Someone from the wool pack has arrived to save our because they live on farm. I don't watch so I've not. Never mind. Do you know what? Sam? I think we should get one of the interview, don't you?
I mean, if the interview was solely about soaps, Coronation Street in particular, I'd be fine. I'd be quite happy with that. But yeah, we can get on with it as well.
Let me just take my EastEnders questions up.
Talk to you about it, Sam, is we've spoken to people with drug and alcohol addictions and everything like this, but we've never spoken to anyone with a soft drink addiction.
Right.
You and Pepsi. There it is right there.
I was saving this until it was there.
I love how you knew it was coming up. Because it's something we've got to talk about. How bad was this Pepsi addiction?
Well, so here's the thing. I didn't realise how bad it was until I needed to stop. So I love Pepsi Max, and for the occasion, I'm drinking the real shit. The kind of fully caffeinated Pepsi Max, which I try to avoid these days. There is now Pepsi Max caffeine free. There was an episode of the podcast where I revealed that and that I was drinking that, and that was like a big turning point. I was back on the Max, but without the caffeine. So I think the situation was, I was drinking a lot of Pepsi Max, throughout my teens and 20s. And I didn't really put two and two together that I wasn't sleeping very well for most of that time. Right, I couldn't really get to sleep at night, and actually, in a way, and I've never thought about this before until this very moment. In a way, that kind of helped me get into the zone of podcasting, because the thing that would put me to sleep would be listening to old episodes of podcasts that I loved on my iPod. So, like, the Ricky Gervais stuff, the Adam and Joe. It was Russell Howard's Six Music thing, and with John Richardson back in the day. Loads of podcasts that I loved. I would just listen to those in order to fall asleep. That would be my strategy. I'd wake up in a tangle of iPod headphones every morning. But the reason why I wasn't sleeping mostly was because I was getting through so much caffeine via Pepsi Max. Now you might think, compared to coffee, the amount of caffeine in Pepsi Max is kind of negligible. But I was guzzling that like it was water, and I would have Pepsi Max by the bed for the morning. If you want an indication of how tricky things got, at uni, I would go to bed with a full glass of Pepsi Max by the bed, so that in the morning I could have a little swig of Pepsi Max to get me out of bed. I didn't think about what was going on at the time. That seemed fine. And then it was through talking to Kevin about it, and him kind of noticing how much I was drinking, that it became this kind of, ongoing goof. And so I didn't really see a problem with it. I just loved Pepsi Max. And it is the best cola as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if you guys have any cola views, any favorites.
It is Pepsi. I do prefer Pepsi over Coke. And I really like the new Pepsi Max Cherry and the Raspberry one. Okay. I'm a fan of those.
You're a flavour guy.
I'm a flavour guy. I'm definitely a flavour guy.
Coke away from me. I'm a Coke man. I have been, always will be.
Believe it. I grew up in Chicago, and my father moved out of Chicago because there was a lot of gang violence. And when you have 6 boys and 5 girls, it could be dangerous. And so he moved us out to 11 kids, man, 11 kids. So he moved us out to the country, and for my 9th birthday, we're very poor, man. But for my 9th birthday, my father, for some reason, brought home a horse and a little Shetland pony. And me and that pony, man, we would ride like the wind. And so I thought the first thing that I really wanted to be was a jockey. I didn't realize I'd grow to be 6'3", and I didn't know the jockeys had to be small. But I was me and that horse, man, we caught the wind like nobody's business. And my father, he couldn't afford a saddle, so he just brought me the horse. So I learned to ride bareback. And when you learn to ride bareback, you know how to ride. So the first thing I ever wanted to be was a jockey or a rodeo, some kind of rodeo star.
That's amazing. I'll be honest with you, Rico. I did not see it going that way. I did not see that coming at all.
I don't know. I'm more shocked by the answer or 11 kids. Both are blowing my mind.
Dad, as a matter of fact, I thought that when I grew up, because I really enjoyed having a big family, man. And so when I grew up, I thought I'm gonna have a big family too. And I had 2 kids, and I was like, oh hell no, this is expensive and it's hard. No, man.
So where did acting come from then? Was this you chasing a passion or something that just sort of happened?
No, I mean, you hear this phrase a lot that, sometimes people say, I didn't choose it, it chose me. It was kind of that way for me too. I went to a school and and my father and mother split up, and then we left Illinois and we moved to Florida, and we moved to this area called, believe it or not, we moved to Fort Lauderdale, but at that time they were busing people. So they bused me to a school called Plantation. And coming from, dude, I'm telling you the truth. a school called Plantation. That was the name of the class. And I didn't want to move to the South anyway. And then to go to a school called Plantation wasn't high on my list.
No,
I am telling you the God's honest truth. And so I get to the school and they said, well, this is the school you're going to be at for 6 months while the other school is going to be completed. It's a new school. So we would go in the afternoon and their student body would go in the morning. But the problem with me is I come from a large family. I'm not good at standing still. I'm kind of like a mischievous kid. And so I would always try and sneak in to the school before they would allow us in. And this one lady, she saw me and she wouldn't let me sneak in. And then she let a little girl go back because the little girl had left her book. And then I went to this lady and I just put on an Oscar performance, and I got so upset that I had tears running down my eyes. I said, so you let her in, but you wouldn't let me in. And the little girl had a real reason to go in, and the teacher knew I was lying, but she also knew that this guy's a pretty good actor. And she told me, she says, you're not going in, but what you are going to do is you're going to be in my
team when I was in bad education. I was not a child.
Well, I suppose, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I was at university. I was drunk for most of it.
That's why they hired you, wasn't it?
That's it. Oh Christ, he's coming stinking of alcohol again.
Better just give him the role. Just give him
Put him in
the
the
role.
cupboard, it'll be fine.
Give Jack the bottle back and go in the room.
That's perfect for the character.
That's exactly what we're after.
But to your more substantive point. So I love telling this story. This is not the first time I've told this story, so this is not a scoop, but it is fun to say. It's it's a thing I like saying. So when I was a kid, I grew up with a mother who was a very proud reader. So I did a lot of reading. My reading comprehension was very good because I was always around books and being read to, reading when I could and everything like that. Still to this day, I love reading. So my reading comprehension was very good. And I decided when I started primary school, I was like, right, I went up to my mother and I said, right, I'm going to be an author. And she said, okay. Thing is though, it takes a little while for authors to get going. So you're probably going to need a backup plan in place just in case things don't work out. And, with youthful bravado, I was like, no, I won't. Anyway, I get to secondary school. And I start studying drama on the curriculum. So I comes back home and I go, Mum, I have decided I no longer want to be an author. I want to be an actor. And she said, okay, so it's quite difficult to break into the acting industry. So you're probably going to want some kind of backup job to go along with that. But I proved all the haters and the doubters wrong by getting a role in bad education when I was at university, and then coasting on that for 7 years until I had to stop because the work dried up, and so I had to get a real job for a bit. So she was right, as she always is.
Well, she wasn't.
Well, I could say, as the sort of the weeks turned to the months, turned into what ended up being a full year out of acting work, there was a sort of thing in the back of my head was, well, I have been a professional actor, but no more. Now I am a professional pizza delivery man. With intentions of becoming the local regional manager.
I was like, this is just me and my imagination running away from myself. You're doing all these different videos with different toys and whatnot, and I'm thinking, most people have a toy drawer. She must have a toy chest of drawers from doing all these reviews.
Yeah, I have.
That face says it all.
Yeah, my flat is I'm blind to it now. And my mum is quite used to I've had this job for a while now, so she's not, but even she'll come around now and be like, God, Jess, there's just penises everywhere. What is going on? So, but they double up because my bathroom, I've got butt plugs stuck to the wall, and they've got my little radio hung off it and my scrunchies and stuff. And one's a door stop. I think I've got some artwork hung up with chained nipple clamps. It's it all gets used, So, but yeah, it's becoming problematic. I need some way of organizing it, and I actually honestly don't know how to do it at this stage because it's got ridiculous, and people will send me stuff all the time, which I love. It's great because I always need the latest thing to have as a prop, and I'm also really bad at getting rid of stuff. So it's just it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Every single room has got it's whenever I if I have to have an engineer come out or a landlord, I'm usually happy. I'm like, you've got a key. Don't, just go on in. Just don't break your neck on a penis, for Christ's sake. Because there's just dildos everywhere. It's ridiculous. But such is life.
Great.
I mean, obviously that's when they occasionally do bite surfers, but they usually bite them and then, they get banged on, they disappear. They don't want to eat. They don't like, I'm not quite sure what the equivalent, I don't know. It would be like, do you want to eat a hedgehog? No. I mistook that hedgehog for a roast chicken, but then once I'd been like, no, that's not interested. But meanwhile, you've been maimed for life. So, but if there was enough hedgehog food out there, I mean, whatever. No, sorry, if there was enough you get my drift.
Yeah.
So no, and people that are scared. But when Steven Spielberg's film Jaws came out, you cannot believe how that affected Australian swimmers. Everyone would swim in a sort of straight line. No one wanted to be the furthest one out in the beach, in the water. And it's like, if a shark was coming in, it doesn't actually go for which is the furthest one out. Yeah. Anyway, but enough about that.
Am I live, gentlemen? Can you hear me? Am I live?
You are here.
Ah, good. Let me turn down so I can hear you guys. What's up, gentlemen? Chronicles, the podcast with Jason Page. How are you?
Jay, that's probably the greatest entrance to Zoom in the history of Zoom entrances ever.
I think my biggest takeaway from 2022 is our work we've done with these guys. I think we have done some incredible work this year. I'm going to toot our horn, and I think we've done phenomenal work. We've raised just slightly under £2,000 for these guys this year. For an indie podcast who have got that drive and determination, I think that's damn good going. We've done some incredible work this year. It started off at the start of the year with the Chronicles of Podcast Live. And we hosted a gig, Tom. Me and you, we hosted a gig. How insane is that?
Yeah, it was pretty mental. I mean, things are trialed. Some things didn't go how we wanted them to. And some things were great. Like Jamie shitting herself at the beginning and then becoming the master fucking MC at the end. Like Tom trying to play something down the phone into a microphone. Of course it's not going to fucking work. There was just loads of moments where it's like, oh well, but still, Death is a Girl, Neptune Rain, Second Cities, and the Mighty Wraith just absolutely blew the fucking roof off Scruffy's, and it was what a night. And a massive thank you to Adam Lancaster for coming down and chatting to the folks as well.
It was phenomenal. Like the fact that Adam came all the way down there as well and spoke to the crowd and talked about his mom who had just recently passed. It was not long after losing Sylvie that we did the gig. And like you say, the four bands absolutely blew everyone away. I've not stopped listening to those bands since we did that gig. They're absolutely phenomenal bands. And that was another part of it that I absolutely loved. We got to bring people's attention to these bands. Like we interviewed every single band before the show as well. And yeah, just absolutely incredible work. And I still to this day, it's a pinch myself moment to think we actually pulled that off. It is incredible.
But obviously, I sold cakes in my previous job to the streets of Cardiff, whereas you cycled fucking miles from Birmingham to the park where the unfortunate incident took place. Jamie, I tip my hat, toot your own horn. You did an unbelievable job. You cycled 13 hours or whatever, at least around that, across
I genuinely
like
can't think how long it took me. I remember it was 116 miles on Google Maps when I first set off.
I'm pretty sure it's 13 hours or so.
And I think it took me about 13 hours, yeah. And
right. 5:58. Sorry, 5:38 a.m. I literally just left the house, setting up the maps. There you go, setting them up, ready to go. Let's do this.
Yay!
Well done, sir. I still right now, again, it's a pinch yourself moment to think I actually achieved that. Because I'm not known for my fitness. Hell, a couple of years ago, I'm surprised I even fit on a bike. I was a big dude. And the fact that I managed to pull this off, I'm actually pretty fucking chuffed with myself. And the fact it was one of those life affirming moments, going to that park and seeing where this horrible thing happened and why we spread that message every single fucking week to show how important that message is. You know, that people shouldn't be treated differently simply because of the music they listen to, the way they dress. You know, and what made it weirder to me was how beautiful and idyllic that park was. I had no idea. You say park, to me, probably because I'm a brummie, I automatically think shithole covered in graffiti, like skate park, the seats have been stolen off the swings and all that sort of stuff. But it was absolutely gorgeous. Flower gardens there and everything like that. And to think something so horrible happened there. And, you know, it was like I say, it was just a life affirming moment. And to get there and to be surprised by my wife, my mum, my daughter, Adam himself met me there. And yeah, it was just absolutely incredible. What a day that was. And it's bloody hot and all.
Yeah. Super proud of you. But of course, I think the biggest highlight for us this year, and a massive, massive shout out and thank you to Adam Gregory for obviously arranging and sorting us out, was that we got to attend the Bloodstock Festival. We got to attend the Bloodstock Festival, work alongside the foundation. We got to meet the entire foundation and work in their beautiful gazeboed stall, which kept us out of the 35-degree heat every day. Thank you so much for that, guys. And we got to interview some phenomenal people. We got to speak to so many bands. Highlight for me, Danny P. Carter of Radio 1 and Daniel Winterbates of Bury Tomorrow were the two proper highlight moments for me from that festival, but also meeting the wonderful people that attend the Bloodstock Festival as well.
It's your boy, TS.
And Jamie, and welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast.
The Chronicles of Bloodstock 2022.
The Law Commission were asked to look at the hate crime strands, and that is the actual monitored strands of hate crime, which there are currently 5. And one of the strands they looked at adding was alternative subculture. And since Sophie was murdered, Sylvia was absolutely determined that that should be added as a monitored strand, because that means if anyone's in need, if they've been attacked, if they've got a problem and they ring the police, it's recognised, they know what it is. If things are tried then as a hate crime, victims get more support. And it also obviously means we're monitoring what goes on. We can put resources where they're needed, so it really, really matters.
For a long, long time, like we are marginalised, while some of it is partly that we want to be different and we want to be out there, and that's kind of when we're younger we do that, but actually everyone's right is to be different, and everyone's right is to be able to walk this earth, and for fear of any kind of prejudice or discrimination or aggression is what happened, and violence is what happens.
The fact that I was alternative and into that sort of stuff and had longer hair and it didn't go down too well. It's like I had one experience where it was about a group of 20 people. I was out with a load of friends, and I had 20 people thereabouts approach me and confronting me about the way I looked, and I was with a couple of friends at the time, and one of them grabbed me in a headlock and started hitting me in the stomach. They were saying things to do with obviously the way I looked and the things I was into. They were people that I was in school with. They were in my school year.
Yeah, it was great. Like you said, those two highlights, definitely. Harry Jennings from Defects was a highlight for me. Lovely, lovely guy. Just speaking to the people of Bloodstock, it was heartbreaking and yet amazing to hear how many people have been treated this way. And like the fact that they just spoke to us two complete strangers who walk up to the microphone and go, "Tell me about the time you were bullied," and they told them those stories, and it was heartbreaking. The things we were hearing. There was a young girl we spoke to who was still in school, and the fact that it's still happening in schools these days, it's horrible to hear, but it's further proof to the pudding, as they say, that something needs to change because it's still happening. Not just when it happened to Sophie, not way back in the day when it was all prolific and with the moshers and the grebos and whatnot when we were kids. But now, still to this day, it's still fucking happening and it needs to bloody stop. Come on.
Jamie, I could not agree more with you. And we look forward to all the big events and everything we'll be doing in 2023. So keep your eyes peeled, loves. Shall we have a little peruse at the old highlights, Jamie?
Oh, go on then.
I mean, it's just always been a story that I've sort of, I think relate's probably the wrong word, because I've sort of growing up, I was always more of a nerdy kid. So it was, you get back in the day with all the cliques and things, you all get bullied in different ways for different things. But I think it was just the feeling of just relating to outcasts and people who are a bit different is, I think that's the reason why the Sophie Lancaster story really sort of transcends different people and different groups of people and just kind of brings people together. And certainly recently with Sylvia's death, I think it's become almost been brought back into the light, because obviously she was pushing to sort of bring it back, and I don't think anyone really saw that coming.
No.
It was that was I mean, I was literally listening to her on, I think it was the Jeremy Vine show about a week before that all sort of broke, and it was tough. But it's definitely been a story that I've always sort of connected with a little bit, just because a lot of my friends were kind of in that position and were bullied at school, and just being a rocker as well, like into that kind of genre of music, it's just like, why is that a problem? Just if you listen to different music and just dress a different way, it's such a sad story, but it's so important because it does just it sort of serves as a case study and just keeps it in people's minds that people are like that, and do go out and just attack people for whether it's race or gender or whatever. It's always an issue, so it's worth bringing up.
When the unfortunate and horrific event happened, I was still kind of into early days of me getting into the music scene, and it was in like all Metal Hammer and Kerrang and stuff, and to hear about that and to see that like in your face, it was a shock to the system that things like that could even exist in this world. But through this adversity, something positive can come where people can stand together. And I don't want to sound cheesy, I will stand on a soapbox for this because it does mean a lot. There's a lot of people out there who are outcast, who are socially awkward, etc., who are different. It happens, but know they have a platform where they can come together and feel accepted and feel they've made friends and allies and people who's going to listen to them. That's beautiful. And this is good. It's good that people can have this outlet where they can scream and shout and make some noise and be heard. And hopefully more people will know and jump on this and be involved. I mean, for example, like a Bloodstock, I've been going to Bloodstock from the very last indoor show, which is like 2008. I'm going to be really cheesy. I've got my ticket stub up here. If you can probably see that. I don't know if you can see that.
Primal Fear.
2006. That was like one of my first major festivals till obviously all the years which they've continued to support this. And this is what it's all about. Metal support. I grew up in a household which was wonderful and supportive, but there was God bashers. And I don't want to say it in a negative way. It's good to love the belief you have. But in the community of metal, I have met people who have appreciated and supported me, befriended me, looked after me, taught me things, spent time with me, and just generally enjoyed being in my company. I've enjoyed being with them. I've never, ever felt this connection anywhere else. And I've been to a few festivals, guys. I've been to Kraken, I've been to Bloodstock, I've been to Download, I've been to Hellfest, and you will feel the same love and appreciation and connection because, you're always going to get bad eggs. That happens. And I'm sorry to waffle on, but this does mean a lot to me. You can feel the camaraderie, and that is something that will never, ever be taken away, ever.
And finally, hopefully you're still with us and you've been enjoying all these clips so far. Finally, I want to give a huge shout out to Jasmine from the Noise Cartel. The Noise Cartel themselves have just been absolutely amazing to us this year. giving us bands, delivering on the interviews after they lovingly let us speak to some people at the Bloodstock Festival, as you just previously saw. Obviously, we got to sit down with Defects, with Tony and Harry from Defects, and one of the greatest interviews we've done this year. That was a very, very special moment. That was that interview.
Highlight for me, that interview.
I hope everyone went to watch them live. I hope you got to enjoy Wheels on the Bus. Isjafjord, their Icelandic duo, with their beautiful sounding album that they made in a week. Incredible. That interview was all sorts of amazing, especially when you tried to pronounce Icelandic words.
I was like
yeah, that was just an absolute highlight. And of course, She Must Burn and Jet Ski. So we look forward to working with the guys again in 2023. But yeah, some absolute blinding interviews in those.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you say, that Defects one, that is top tier. One of my favorite interviews we've ever done. But again, with this, it's learning about new bands. This is where we build this reputation, and they go, "Hey, we've got this band. They're looking for interviews. Would you like to talk to these guys?" And we listen to them and go, "Fuck yeah, I want to talk to them." Jet Ski, my God, if I just want to have a boogie, they're going on. They're absolutely amazing. She Must Burn. I love that album. I was like, how have I never heard this before? Absolutely stunning. And Isjafjord, like you said, beautiful, beautiful songs, which I can't stop singing. I'm getting the words completely fucking wrong, but I enjoy singing it.
You start as you mean to go on, AJ.
Precisely.
With your Icelandic. Get on Duolingo. Get yourself sorted.
Yes, that's what we'll do next time we get them on for album 2.
Jasmine, thank you so much for being such an absolute legend and for obviously setting these interviews up. And to your company, The Noise Cartel, we have loved working with them so much, and we look forward to working with you again next year. Let's, Jamie, throw up some highlights.
Oh, go on then. Here you go.
Excellent.
But before I do my intro, we've already said this to Ragnar. I'm going to apologise now for my pronunciations. I'm a simple Englishman. I'm not up to date with my Icelandic pronunciations, but we'll try.
You're forgiven already.
Yes. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we bring you another incredible band that, quite frankly, we think you should be listening to. Today's guests are an Icelandic duo who create music I have seen described as sculptured, beautiful and desolate pop, as bright and dark as the subarctic seasons. They are releasing their brand new album, Hjartaskiaki, tomorrow as we record this week.
Brilliant,
we welcome the wonderful Addy and Ragnar, because these are the Chronicles of Isjafjord.
Nice.
How bad did I do?
I'd say 9 out of 10.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yes. Even I enjoyed that, and I didn't know if you got it right or not. Absolutely.
I was shitting myself all the way up to that album title. I was like, come on, you can do it, Jamie. You can do it.
And Misery Eternal up in Lincolnshire. And we went to this place that was just this like derelict like building. Like if there was I'm not a person that believes in like ghosts and spirits and stuff, but if anywhere was going to have ghosts, spirits, and demons, it was going to be that place, because it had underground tunnels and stuff where like that led to like chapel, like used to lead to like chapels. So like they used to have churches in Lincolnshire that are all linked together with these underground tunnels, so that they could move between the churches without going over land when they're carrying like valuables or when they're escaping, raids or whatever the case may be, or even just doing their like sermons and stuff. It's just a safe passage to get from one place to the other. And the building had practically fallen to pieces, but these tunnels were still completely intact. And you could go down and you could walk down these tunnels for like 10 minutes and you wouldn't be able to see in either direction or how far left there is. It was like horrible. In fact, you can see in that level, you can see some of the rooms that we went into down there in both Eulogy and Misery Eternal, because we filmed a lot of the videos a lot of those two videos in different parts of the buildings, because it's like the grounds is huge. So we could just go from one side of the building and film a bit here, and then go to the other side of the building and film a bit there. And you wouldn't really be able to tell they're the same place. But we filmed the scenes with Eulogy where Valis and Carl were singing Into the Mirror. We filmed it in the chapel underground. And there's actually a scene in that video where it's actually made it into the video as well, where we set the lights up and we took a step back and let the light just be on Valis, and then Sean Hodson, who's a guy that did the Loki films, who did these videos, was standing filming it by the side of the light, and we see these shadows like run in front of the camera and block the light just for a split second. But it was just like, it just didn't make any sense how that could have possibly happened. It was just, so we've got these like kind of weird ghostly footages that are actually in Eulogy as well, from where we filmed them in these like haunted tunnels. And another scene where we filmed down there was the scene where Kyle's got the rope around his face in Misery Eternal and he's setting fire to the book and ripping it to pieces. Literally just behind him there is like a tunnel that is like 10 miles, like in whatever direction, just of pitch blackness to another abandoned chapel that's, you know, down the road. It's just kind of, yeah, it's kind of terrifying, wasn't it, in those places?
Yeah, it was there's a strange you go like on the upstairs in the actual manor itself, it's actually like you can feel something there, but it's almost quite welcoming. It's like quite a welcoming presence. But then when you go in the basement, things do get a bit weird.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Just talking about big names here, like Jason Derulo, things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're thinking about the big dude, look at what they're doing. They're on TikTok 4 or 5 times a day. Do you know what I mean? It's like the pace that people are getting accustomed to for content from and new stuff from musicians is insane. But because of that, stuff's been quite quickly forgotten. There's things with like 300 songs with 300 million YouTube views in the first, like, do you know what I mean? Like month of it being out, and then it falls wayside. So yeah, I think we don't want to attempt to match that pace. That's not something that we're interested in doing. Nonna is are particularly good at dancing, so we're not doing any of the challenges, and we're not. It's just not really for us. But saying that though, we had a small venture into TikTok and stuff like that, and we had a video get like 500,000 views and like 50,000 likes in like one day. So and then that made us like feel like, oh, we should push TikTok, we should do it all the time. But the way the algorithm works, it just randomly selects things to become successful, because there was no particular reason that video should have gone viral or ish viral. And yeah, we quickly were like, this is just not, it's not us. Do you know what I mean? We always like to have content in the barrel, but not at the pace that people are doing it now.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned Jason Derulo. I wonder if his record label or management team will ever go, how many times, Jason, do you reckon you can fit your name into a song? And do you want to just have a song that's just your name, or would that be too obvious?
Yeah, their calling card is brilliant. I've always really enjoyed that about like popular music, pop music in general, is like, there's like all these calling cards, and I really want Jet Ski to have one. Like, if you heard DJ Khaled shouts, "We the best music," which is like his, I think like that's his label maybe or something like that. But he shouts it at the start of any song he's even a little bit a part of. Like, he might have just like assistant produced it, and it's like the start of the song is like, "We the best music, DJ Khaled." And I think that's so sick. Like, if I featured on somebody else's song, I'm shouting Jet Ski straight away. Like, if I'll treat it like an MC. Do you know what I mean? I'll like, if I was featured on someone's song, I'd be like, Jet Ski, Jet Ski, Jet Ski. And then I'd sing. Do you know what I mean? I like it. It's a cool tactic. Just say your name loads of times.
I actually did ask a rapper. We interviewed a rapper a while ago, and I asked him, why do you sing your name in songs? And his actual answer was, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think like there's a copy and paste thing to be successful at the moment. Like within, because I really like it all. Don't get me wrong. Like I really like drill music. I really like just like UK hip hop. Like, I love all that sort of stuff. But there is like defined looks, flows, personality sort of styles, lyrical content. There's like all these things that I like. They're laid out, and if you can fit that mold and you can do it well, and you've got like a sick social media game, like you might be successful. Like, it's actually a pretty good chance. So I reckon everyone just fits into it, and they're like, is everybody else saying their name? Yeah, all right.
Wheels on the bus, right?
Yeah.
I went ham. If one was like, get on X Factor. No, to be fair, before being like in a proper band setting, so when I was younger, like I did the band stuff at school, but I did the like solo singing on the side, and my mum was like, go on the X Factor, do all this stuff and that. So I did that. So for a while, I wanted to be like the next Usher. And then
I've never heard this before, by the way. This is new to me.
I was honestly like, so it was like this split personality almost. Like one side of me loved R&B and garage and all that, and then this other side, my dad's side, was all about metal. So should have blended them together and made like garage metal, like Craig David on a metal track. Like
that'd be amazing. I've gone. It's like,
I think we finally found a genre of metal that doesn't exist. I thought all of the genres existed.
Yeah. I know. Maybe we should ask Craig David for a collab. See what you have to say.
Oh yeah,
mate. There's no harm in asking. I can only ever say no. That's the beauty of it.
Or Richard Blackwood getting back in the music game.
Yeah.
You know, get him off Hollyoaks, whoever he is now.
Request Hollyoaks.
But it's crazy the two, like, because my mum used to love that stuff. So yeah, such a weird mixture of music, but it worked for me. So
when you mentioned the Wheels on the Bus, though, that for some reason I want to hear it with a massive breakdown in the middle. Could you imagine?
Oh,
yeah, fucking unreal.
Wheels on the bus go round and round.
Like.
We're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
I want to see you all go round.
You got Party Cannon with their push-up mosh pits. You need the first nursery rhyme mosh pit. That's what we need now.
That'd be brilliant.
That's fucking amazing.
I'm gonna work on it, and if it ever, because I've got this. Thing is, right, when everyone says ideas like this, I always note them down and eventually I do them. Like we've got Tony likes to send these weird voice notes. Like that's just like noises, basically. And it's like, I don't know if you've ever heard like animals do like yummy noises when they're eating. No, they're like, it's basically he sent me a few of those, so I've got about 30 tracks in Logic with all these different voice notes in them, and when you play them it sounds like a cafeteria in Star Wars, like, you know, when you get aliens talking in the background and shit.
Scapegoat, it's so funny.
Yeah, and when we were designing the first set list and I was putting it all together in like a Logic file to like for the In Flames tour, and the first thing I did was turn it into an intro to put on before Scapegoat. And other members of the band said no, but I thought it would have been great. So
it's like this weird thing. It's like I just did it in the voice note. It was like or whatever, and he blended all of those together into this intro.
I was saving them without telling anyone, and then I did it, and then sent it. I was like, "What do you think of this sick drop, boys?"
Oh my god!
Oh, guys, what a year! What a 2022 it's been for the Chronicles of Podcast. There's been some unbelievable moments, some emotional moments, some sad moments, some really deep and thoughtful moments, and obviously some absolute hilarity. Look out for next year. 2023 is going to be a really, really big year. We've got so much in the works. The Dublin Cross vlog will be coming to you very, very shortly. We've got a live show, another live show coming, so keep your eyes peeled, get your tickets. Obviously, all proceeds go to the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. We've got some Sophie Lancaster plans in the work as well of how to raise some funds, haven't we, Jamie?
Oh, yes, we do. And I'm shitting myself, but excited.
You know, how do you top a bike ride? You can't really, you know, unless you climb a mountain or jump out of a plane.
Yeah,
but, you know, so we've got so much coming up. So many, again, January is already packed. We've already got at least 2 months worth of shows ready for you. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. It's going to be another great year, James. And I can't wait to do this again next year. We're like, can you believe when that happened?
It's insane, isn't it? I'm so excited. We've got an incredible 2023 planned for you guys. Like Tom said, we've got almost 2 months worth of shows booked in already, interview-wise. But obviously, don't forget to check out the show every week. It's not just the interview. You've got Callum's Treachings, Tom's Journal, My Audience Participation Challenge, every single week you can enjoy those wonderful delights. And yeah, 2023 is going to be no different. We are so excited. We hope you can all take this journey with us. Hello, microphone cord. Which, yeah, it's going to be great. And I couldn't have done it with a better person by my side.
Oh, stop it, you. But I agree. Massively. Ditto, my friend. Ditto. Thank you to absolutely everyone that's been with us on this journey so far in 2022, for any shows you've watched, even for a couple of minutes, for the comments on YouTube, for the subscriptions, for supporting us at the live shows, for absolutely everything. We adore each and every one of you. We love you all so very, very much. And yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy the next year as much as we did. But of course, Jamie, before we do sign off, we've had some absolutely unbelievable moments, but I feel that over our podcasting career, there's obviously been some not so great moments. Do you reckon we should get that out there and show the people what else has been going on behind the scenes?
Just because you really want to get this certain clip out, go on then.
Roll it.
Oh God, I'm showing my chair.
Whoa! Did your chair just break?
Yes, my leg just fell off the chair.
Oh no.
And now the background fell down. This is going well, isn't it?
You need to get that I'll send you the Love Island background. If you can get a photo of that, you can just superimpose it in your back, so you don't need to have an actual background.
We have, yeah, these are actual. We have to match. Has it broken completely, James?
What, the chair?
Well, whatever you're doing there.
And then I'm just hanging that back up.
Is it, Tom? Is yours a background, or is that a?
No, it's an actual tapestry.
That's crazy. I thought they were like full on, like, you know, when you go to like your background like in the settings and you can change it to whatever you want.
Oh, Jamie.
Never living that one down.
But she enjoyed it as well. That's the main thing. That's the beauty of this show. Is like, it's not always going to go according to plan. Guys, again, thank you so much. Thank you for an absolutely unbelievable year. To all of our guests, all of you, thank you so much for being on this show, for who's been a part of this show, if you came to the live show, for supporting us on our, our Sophie Lancaster raising fund quest that we've been doing. It's just been a hell of a ride, and I can't wait to take this into next year, Jamie. It's going to be unbelievable, and to have you by my side is a pleasure and an honour, sir.
Mwah! Beautiful man, you.
Anything you want to say before I sign this off? Or?
No, I'm just going to quote Tom, ditto, my friend. We've had some incredible people with us this year, as you say, not just the guests, people who listen to the show, people that came to the live shows. A massive tip of the hat to three people that mean the absolute world to us. Matt Roberts, your music every single week. Thank you so much, sir. Callum, your treating every single week. For last week's Christmas episode, for joining us on the live show. We could not do the show without you, sir. And a massive tip of the hat to our friend behind the scenes. We love you lots and lots and lots, Miss Ori Kimbler. Couldn't do this without you. And every single person, as Tom said, that listens, watches, shares, no matter what you do. We do this for you guys. Absolutely free every single week, and it means the world for you to support us. So thank you, and we hope you take this journey with us next year and bring all your friends along.
Bigger and better things to come. Because, Jamie, as for this year, we'll see you all next year.
Goodbye, 2022.
Bye.